So I'm going to be turning this to this. Right, as we can see, this is completely ruined. My fault completely. We had tons of stuff here that we were clearing out from the garage and around the house, and it was out here for a long time, well over 2 years. Completely disorganised, but it had already been going before then, and in the last 6 months it's properly gone. So I mean, it's completely through to the inside here, so we'd had lots of leaking going inside. And I noticed once the floor had been done inside the garage that where the rain, we had a couple of nights of really heavy rain, and it was just going straight through, and it just left a load of flooding all over the place. So desperate to get this done. So main sill at the front, up about 250 mil on, certainly on this side, but this side looks a lot better. So a lot of this is quite weak and it's going in. So I found a good hard point here, and I'll cut into that. I bought myself a really cheap reciprocating. It's unlikely I'm going to do many jobs like this, so I've just bought myself a 35 quid caulk. In time, I might think that I'll need something to do more of this. I doubt it. But when I need a real one, I'll get a real one. So I bought an 85mm UPVC sill to put here. Now it's only 30mm high, which is about half of this height. But I've then bought a trim to go on the top. Now, I think this is glass, but it moves like plastic, so I'm just going to be very careful. So I'm going to cut out on this side, cut out on this side. I'm going to take off all the old sealant at the edge here, and then caulk everything once it's redone. So I'm going to have to trim all the way around all the edges, get rid of all that, and then I can refill it afterwards. I might need to do an external plaster fill on here before I do that. But hopefully the new sill will go up to just underneath where the glass is here, so the trim will sit down face on the back part of it, and then I'll have an overhang of about 35 mil, and that'll give enough for the drip down to the ground. I'll probably need to do some work on the ground here and get this resealed on the edge, because I don't think it is sealed anymore. So UPVC sill, trim, timber repairs on this side. Probably need to go about 10 centimetres high on this side, because this side's a lot more knackered. I mean, it really is falling apart. And then based on what I find in here, depends on how much I need to take out from the frame on the inside, but that's separate. It's just to get the outside protected. So I'm probably going to get Stanley to clear off this at the front so that I can redo it, because it all looks pretty knackered actually. It's actually, I probably won't even need. Yeah, no, I'm going to need to use a Stanley, otherwise I'm just going to peel the whole wall off. Actually, it's quite blown here actually. No, it's not too bad. Got a little bit of filling to do on the sides, but the main thing is to clear all this out and get my new sill. Right, pretty much the rest of this, certainly the early period, is going to be on stop motion, because otherwise you will get exceptionally bored watching me pull this apart. So I'm going to get on with clearing this off, and I'll see you all later. Right, that's all the dead wood cut out. Now I need to do an enormous amount of tidying up because there's a hell of a mess. So I'm going to tidy that lot up, put away all the tools that I've used to make this absolute mess, and then I can start working on, probably initially what I'll do is I've already measured up the PVC sill. I'll get that cut down and see what it's like in place, see how level it is side to side and front to back, and then I can start working on the replacement timbers for the sides, and then worry about the sanding and filling and painting later. But just to get this first part done, I mean, we're going to be okay for weather today. It's 3 o'clock at the moment. I've got a good 3 hours more of daylight to get at least some of this done, and I can look through my stocks of timber and see what I've got that will fill in these gaps. The trim here I will probably need to get separately because I'm not sure I've got that in stock. But I'll have a look. I've kept a piece that's given me the profile, and I can go and have a look and see what I have. But I've got a funny feeling I don't have it. So for me, it's making up the replacement timber to go down here. This bit is absolutely fine. I went too far here. I can fill this in. Timber to go down, the inside face that goes at the back of this sill here, the trim I've got, and I can use that on both sides, maybe. But yeah, that's the tough part done, I hope. Right, I will tidy this mess up. I won't show you me tidying up because... Right, catch you later. Fortunately, I'm a hoarder. I've got wood stashed in here. Lots and lots and lots of little bits. Got some wood stashed there. Some wood stashed there. Got a load of wood stashed down here. Tons of wood stashed under here ready for milling. But the stash that's been really handy is this lot over here to do all the framing around the window. I've managed to get a couple of pieces, and I think this one might do. A piece on the outside that I need. I think it's just about the right size. I've got to trim it down to a weird dimension, 17mm at one end, 21 at the other. But all these spare bits will clean up lovely. I've actually got, there was a frame that I broke up, play frame I broke up last year. They had these 4x4s which I'm going to use for the permanent bench above my desk, above my workbench. But yeah, they're sitting there. They're going to need to move them into the garage soon to let them dry out. Right, let's take this piece in and see whether or not that will work for what I need. Okay, so I've done a bit of tidy up. I've yet to clean off the sill, but I'll do that when I start trying to put stuff in place. So I found timber here to do frame on both sides, and I found another timber here, slightly different dimensions, to do the sill on the inside. Unfortunately, that's only 47mm deep. The previous one was 70. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more in terms of some trim around the edge. I can either use some of the PVC trim that I've got for doing the outside sill where I've got the PVC sill, or once it's in place I can do something alternate to that. I don't know yet. I think it'll work. Right, I'm going to clear off my table saw now so I can start cutting stuff up to the right sizes and trying stuff in place to see if it actually fits, and then get out the no more nails, stick everything down. Right, I will see you in a bit. I'm not going to show these bits. I might do a stop motion maybe, but I need to organise this space before I can do any more. Right, I will catch you again in a little bit. See you soon. fits. Right, I'm going to go and try this in place and see how it sits, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got the UPVC cut to length and it's in roughly the right position. Everything's dry fit at the moment. I've not secured anything because I'm still working how to make everything fit properly. The frame on this side is cut to size and I would fill that gap in there. Edges will be caulked as we would do. I'm going to get some fresh trim with the same profile to match that down to the bottom. Bit of a funny measurement here. I can wood fill that, and then same with the trim. Now, one difference from the original sill is that we've got this gap. So what I'm going to do is create a timber piece that will go underneath there along its length, that will go right to the very edge, and then with a little lip to go over the top of the little lip at the back of the UPVC, and then I can put some trim over the top of that, and then I'll show you the inside as well, see how that's gone. So from in here you see that there's a whole gap right through there, so I'm going to have to do some kind of timber to fill in that gap. There was an odd piece in there, but everything was so rotten that I couldn't really see dimensions of anything at all. Similar on this side, just a little bit smaller. The wall is actually on a great big curve that does that, so there'll be a little bit of packing in there, and I will finalise that before I actually fit everything. Probably going to use no more nails to fit the UPVC and the timber sill, then pin everything together while it's gluing. I'm amazed at how well I've got these things to match up. I've used some spare timbers that I've had and cut them to size on the table saw and with my circular saw, and everything's really fitted really damn well. I was really not looking forward to doing this because I knew it was going to be a real pain, and everything seems to have worked reasonably well. So the main bits of timber thing left to do here now is strip of wood for the outside there, some kind of timber framing to finish off the inside before I put this on, I'm going to see if I can get a whole piece of this so I can do the sides and then do the inside as well. This is just a tiny bit too tall for this, so I might have to do a little something, I'm not sure yet. But overall it has gone very, very well, so I'm very pleased with that. If you've got any questions, any comments, or if you want to go, what on earth are you doing, you should have done it this way, I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet done so, like and subscribe, and I will see you again very, very soon. Okay, so I've been having a closer look at this, how to finish off the timber frame on the outside to sit on top of the UPVC sill. And looking at the spirit level, you see it's a little high on the left, and that's what I found. I was needing to cut the piece of timber that I've got 4 mil lower on the left hand side than on the right. But what I thought I'd do is have a quick look in here, and there's actually a high spot here, which means the rest of the spirit level is not actually touching anywhere on this side. So I'm going to try and knock this out and see whether or not that will give me the level that I need, and then we'll go from there. So just to show you visually what level I've got to sort out, we can see here where this timber fits underneath just right. On the other side, it's a few millimeters too high. That's what I'm trying to sort out with this bit in the middle. So I'll get working on that and see what we come up with. So I've got some line levels here that I use when I'm doing decking or paving or anything like that, just to see how level it is end to end, but also front to back to make sure the water's actually going to drain off rather than drain back into any woodwork. Let's just have a look. So touch high on the left. Now I've checked this with the big spirit level. Unfortunately the wall is that much off, because I've checked it, and the level I've managed to get is exactly the same. I can't get it any more level without knocking out bricks and rebuilding it, which I'm not going to do. So overall it's a couple of mil higher on the left than it is on the right. Let's swap these round. See if it's draining out rather than in. And yes, yeah, the bulb's right to the back, so that's draining out. Quite handy to get. These are only a couple of quid, and if you are doing a sill and you want to make sure that it's actually draining the right way, very, very handy to have. There you go. Okay, so all the trim is now cut, all the framing is now cut, and everything's dry fit in place. So it's a case of sanding back what needs to be sanded back before I actually fit everything in permanently. So I'll show you where we're at. There's going to be, there'll need to be a little bit of filling and a little bit of sanding once everything's in place and everything else has been sanded down. But everything is now cut to finish it. Right, I'll show you. Okay, so we need to do a little bit of jigging about to make sure everything fits in the right place. The odd tap and knock here and there and a bit of sanding down. Probably need to be sanded in place, but some of the rough stuff I can take off and sand separately. But all the trim is now fitted and looking very nice indeed. Right, I'll just take you outside and show you the other bit. Right, so again, still need to do a little bit of filling in places. Certainly that one, I must have gone a bit mad while I was doing that one. But all of the extra trim is in place. Might still need to do a little bit of foam fill in these corners or come up with an alternative. I don't know what yet, but all this area will either get caulked or sealed in some other way. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have a bit of a research to see what's the best way to do that. Some filler in here. You see there's a little bit of gap there, but that's easily fillable. But all the trim is now cut to size. I had fun doing the chamfers, they worked out well. But it's all ready to sand back and glue. But everything else is going to get a good sand down. Probably use Zinsser for the primer, and then find some decent gloss exterior just to sparkle it all up and do the inside and the outside, and then we're done. Right, quick update. So the frame is now installed properly. So I've used no more nails on the sides and the underside of the sills, and I've used Evo stick wood glue to piece all the individual parts of the wood together. I've also pinned to hold stuff in place as well, and as you can see, I've actually filled where I've needed to. Okay, so I was hunting through my stocks of stuff that I could use to clear the sticky stuff off the window. Recently we'd had something we had to clear off in the house. I can't remember what it was, but it stank to high heaven, so we ended up binning it, and of course we now need it. So I was having a look through the cupboard and found this, which I thought, well, okay, we'll give it a go. And it seems to be magical. What's this? That's been on for about a minute. Now, yes, I need to reapply, but wow, that's ridiculously good. Okay, we'll see what it's like when I'm done. Oh, I'm sorry, but that is crazy. That was 2 sprays and 2 lots of wiping, then a bit of scraping with a little mini scraper I've got to get some of the heavy stuff off, but wow. Right, if you need something that is exceptionally good at getting rid of sticky stuff off any kind of surface, get some of this. I can't remember where we got it from. It might have been Wicks or maybe Screwfix, but blimey. Yeah, get yourself some of this for getting rid of sticky stuff. It's incredible. Okay, so just in from work, just gotta get this bit done now. So everything's glued in, everything's been filled and sanded, and then I've refilled because there's a couple of spots that I missed. So I'm going to sand those last bits down, hoover, and then we get to caulk it, and then later this evening, if it's not too dark, I'm going to get the first layer of the primer done, hopefully. I'm not going to show you sanding because, again, but I'll be back for when the caulk is ready to do. Right, see you in a bit. Okay, so all sanded and hoovered. I'm going to leave, oh sorry, I've got no nonsense exterior caulk. I'm going to leave the bead hole as standard, really small, so that I can do the glass pane inside and out. And then I will cut it down to get a bigger hole to do the exterior of the frame, just so I can have a nice tidy bead on this. No, should be fine. Alright, back in a sec. Final painting stage, first of all, good old frog tape. Okay, primer first, and what we use, both, well, this is Zinsser Bullseye, there's also Zinsser Bin, but we also have the red pot one, which we used when we did the refurb indoors on the stairs and landing. Really, really good at stain blocking, really easy to put on. It will need 2 coats, but yes, no more on that. We'll get on with it and see how quickly we can get this done. We're 7:45 now, see how long it takes. Okay, well that's the outside done. It's gone on real nice. Right, that's the first coat of primer done here. Oh, just a bit. always miss a bit. Yeah, that was it. Right, now to do the inside, and then when I get back tonight, second coat. Right, there we go. That's the first primer coat done. It's not gone on too bad. I'll have to see later whether or not I need to sand it back at all. Definitely needs a second coat of the primer. Excellent. Right, I'm off to work. I will see you all later. Okay, so the two primer coats are finished. I've got the last one done last night. The cill top coat that I was going to use is not going to be available tomorrow. So I've had to go out and buy something else, which just happens to be Zinsser Allcoat. A little bit more expensive than the cill, 5-6 quid. But that's available now, and the rain's starting to come in from this evening, so I'm getting the first coat done this morning. It's dry in an hour, recoatable in 4 to 6 hours. It's 8:30 now, and by the time I get back tonight, which should be around about 5 o'clock today, I can get another coat done. Even if I don't get the inside done this morning, doesn't matter if it's raining, it's inside. So I am not far away from finishing. Right, first coat. Well, that is very nice paint. Easy to mix, goes on very nicely, and it brushes on really well. So that is a 1 litre tin, and it was £25, and that will get this window done, both coats, and then when I do the repair on the shed door at the back, that will do the door and the frame, and then when I do the frame around the garage, it'll do 2 coats on that as well, and I'll probably still have half a tin left. 1 coat left to go. Yay. Okay, so that's the window finished. Glass needs a little bit of a clean. Unfortunately, where the frog tape's come off, it's actually pulled some of the caulk off. I'm not quite sure why, it's still quite tacky, but I gave it 24 hours before I actually put the frog tape on to do the painting, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. I'm going to have to do a bit of research to try and figure out how to fix that one up. But we're done. Yes. And it's watertight, which is the most important thing. So, 6, 12, 16 hours in total, which is 6 hours to take out all the dead wood, 6 hours to build the new framework to go in there, sand it all down, actually glue it in place properly, fill it, let it go, sand it off and have it ready for priming. 2 hours worth of priming, 2 hours worth of top coat, and probably another 15 minutes to fix the couple of little issues I've got there. But we're all good. Right, so if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. If you've got any comments, leave them in the comments. And if you've enjoyed the video, I found something useful in here, give us a like and a subscribe. And I will see you again very soon with probably the repair on the door at the back, door and the frame. Right, so until next time, see you. Right, hey everyone. Right, now this is a quick addendum to the original video. We're a good few weeks on, or nearly a month on now from when the video was originally done. So everything's finished, but one of the weird things that seems to have happened, and I cannot figure out why because we've done it twice and it's happened 2 times, is on the caulking here, which went off properly and was solid. A few days later it started weeping and drooping down like hot bubble gum, and it's done it both times we've done it. I did it once and Chrissy did it once, and it's all gone really funny and we have no idea why. So if anyone out there actually has an idea of why that is, I'd love to know. There's condensation on the inside of the window, there's no heating in there, there's no insulation in there, and this glass is old 3mm single pane. Possibly that's the issue, but I don't know. But if you do know, I would love to know. So leave some ideas in the comments for me and see if I can fix it. Thanks a lot.